Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Thrive Naturally. My name is Sophie Miller. Today, I am here with my grandpa. And today, we are talking about something that might be one of the most underrated systems in your entire body. Grandpa, is it true that the gut microbiome affects much more than just digestion?
Yes, absolutely. The gut microbiome might be one of the most underrated systems in the entire human body. It is not just about digestion. Right now, trillions of bacteria inside your intestine are producing compounds that regulate your metabolism. These bacteria are training your immune system. They are manufacturing neurotransmitter precursors that affect your mood. And they are maintaining the protective barrier that prevents chronic inflammation from spreading through your bloodstream.
So, when this system works well, everything else works better.
Exactly. When this system is healthy, it supports almost every system in the body. But when the microbiome becomes dysbiotic or out of balance, it creates metabolic dysfunction. It causes immune problems, and inflammation begins to affect many different aspects of health.
That sounds serious.
It is, and the research on this topic has become overwhelming during the last 10 years. Scientists now understand that the microbiome is deeply connected to long-term health.
Grandpa, before we talk about improving the microbiome, what exactly are we trying to improve?
That is a great question. Improving the microbiome mainly means increasing microbial diversity. In simple words, it means increasing the number of different bacterial species living in your gut. Higher microbial diversity is strongly associated with better health outcomes across many different health markers. It also means supporting beneficial metabolic outputs, especially compounds called short-chain fatty acids. For example, butyrate. These compounds reduce inflammation, and they strengthen the protective gut barrier. Another goal is reducing inflammatory signals produced by harmful or imbalanced bacteria.
That sounds complex.
Fortunately, improving the microbiome is actually simpler than many people think. Most changes come from environment and behavior, not genetics. Your microbiome responds very quickly to what you do every day.
So our daily habits matter.
Exactly. And today, we will talk about 9 evidence-based habits that can improve the microbiome. No supplements, no extreme diets, just practical habits supported by research.
Let's start with the first one.
The first habit is probably the most important. Eat for diversity, not perfection.
What does that mean?
Microbial diversity responds to variety in your diet, not restriction. Research consistently shows that people who eat a wide range of plant foods have far greater gut diversity than those who eat narrow, repetitive diets. Some researchers suggest aiming for around 30 different plant foods each week. This is not a magic number, but it encourages dietary variety.
Why does variety matter so much?
Because different bacterial species feed on different types of fibers and plant compounds. Some bacteria specialize in breaking down fibers found in legumes. Others prefer resistant starch found in cooked and cooled potatoes or rice. Some thrive on polyphenols found in berries, and others grow well on sulfur compounds found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. When someone eats the same 5 or 6 foods repeatedly, only a small portion of the microbiome is being fed. But when food variety increases, many more bacterial species can flourish.
So, what is the practical takeaway?
Stop chasing the perfect diet. Start rotating foods. If you always eat spinach, try kale or rocket. If you usually eat rice, try quinoa or barley. If almonds are your regular snack, try walnuts or pumpkin seeds. Small substitutions gradually increase microbial diversity.
That sounds manageable. What is the second habit?
The second habit involves fiber, but not in the way most people think. Fiber is not just about digestion or bowel regularity. Fiber is literally fuel for your microbiome, specifically prebiotic fibers. These are fibers that resist digestion in the small intestine. They reach the colon intact, and bacteria ferment them. Excellent sources include lentils, chickpeas, beans, whole grains like oats, barley, and rye. Vegetables like onions, garlic, leeks, and asparagus. Nuts and seeds are also great sources.
And what happens when bacteria ferment these fibers?
They produce short-chain fatty acids. Butyrate is one of the most important. It is the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon. It strengthens the gut barrier. It reduces inflammation, and it improves insulin sensitivity. Other fatty acids like acetate and propionate also have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. When people do not eat enough fiber, beneficial bacteria begin to starve, and less beneficial bacteria begin to dominate. The metabolic output of the microbiome shifts toward inflammation. Research shows that higher fiber intake is associated with lower risk of heart disease, lower rates of diabetes, lower obesity, lower colorectal cancer risk, and lower overall mortality.
That is powerful evidence.
It is. A good practical goal is 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Unfortunately, many people consume less than 15 grams.
That means there's a lot of room for improvement.
Exactly.
What is the third habit?
The third habit is incorporating fermented foods. Foods like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi or miso. These foods contain live bacteria. These bacteria interact with the existing microbiome in beneficial ways. Research in recent years has shown strong benefits from fermented foods. In one controlled trial, people who consumed fermented foods daily for 10 weeks showed increased microbial diversity and lower inflammatory markers, even compared with those who only increased fiber intake.
That is interesting.
It is. The key point is consistency, not large quantities. Small regular servings are enough. For example, a few tablespoons of sauerkraut with a meal, or a cup of kefir as a snack.
Simple changes that add up over time.
Exactly.
What is the next habit?
Walking after meals. This habit connects nutrition and movement, and it is often underestimated. After eating, blood glucose levels rise. If you sit still, blood sugar stays elevated longer. Higher glucose levels can change the gut environment, favoring harmful bacteria. But walking helps muscles absorb glucose from the bloodstream. This stabilizes blood sugar and creates a more stable metabolic environment. Beneficial bacteria thrive in stable conditions. Even 10 to 30 minutes of gentle walking after meals can make a difference.
That seems like an easy habit to adopt.
Yes, and it also improves sleep and reduces cravings.
What comes next?
Protecting your circadian rhythm. Your gut bacteria follow daily biological cycles. Their activity and metabolic output change during the day. When sleep patterns are consistent, the microbiome works efficiently, but disrupted sleep, late night eating, and irregular schedules disturb these cycles. Studies on shift workers show reduced microbial diversity and more inflammatory bacteria. Good sleep habits help restore balance. Try to maintain consistent sleep times. Avoid eating 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Get bright light in the morning, and reduce bright lights in the evening.
Sleep affects everything.
It truly does.
What about diet quality?
That leads to the next habit. Reducing ultra-processed foods. These foods are typically low in fiber, high in rapidly absorbed sugars, and filled with additives. Additives like emulsifiers and artificial sweeteners can disrupt the gut environment. They may damage the protective mucus layer in the gut and increase inflammation. Diets high in ultra-processed foods are linked to lower microbial diversity and higher risk of inflammatory diseases. Replacing these foods with whole foods supports microbiome recovery
Stress probably matters too.
Very much. Chronic stress changes the microbiome. Stress hormones like cortisol reduce gut motility, reduce blood flow to the intestine, and increase gut permeability. This environment favors inflammatory bacteria. Activities like walking, deep breathing, time outdoors, and social connection reduce stress hormones and support gut recovery.
What about antibiotics?
Antibiotics are life-saving drugs when used properly, but they also reduce microbial diversity. Broad-spectrum antibiotics kill both harmful and beneficial bacteria. Some bacterial species may take months to recover, or may never fully return. That is why antibiotics should only be used when truly necessary. And after antibiotics, fiber-rich foods and fermented foods help rebuild the microbiome.
And finally,
Most important principle: play the long game. The microbiome responds to consistency, not extreme short-term efforts. Sudden drastic dietary changes often backfire, but gradual improvements sustained over weeks and months create lasting benefits. Small daily habits compound into long-term health outcomes.
that really brings everything together.
Yes, improving your microbiome is not complicated. It comes down to a few simple principles. Eat diverse foods. Eat fiber-rich whole foods. Include fermented foods. Move your body. Protect sleep. Reduce ultra-processed foods. Manage stress. Use antibiotics carefully. And stay consistent.
Thank you, Grandpa. That was incredibly helpful. And thank you everyone for watching Thrive Naturally. If you found this discussion useful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We will see you in the next video.